place, fourth place in fact. It's again this battle that we saw in the previous race between Michael Briggs and Terry Moss. And these two are at it hammer and tongs as they go down the long back straight. They hit speeds of about 1 hour as they go down that back straight and then hard on the brakes down to second gear and they turn in. So you can see that Michael Briggs is defending his position. He's lying in fifth place at the moment. And he is, at the moment, of course, the leading South African in this race. A highly competitive field. There was less than a second between something like the first 7 or 8 cars on the grid. And you know, the other factor also, Roger, is that because of all the cement initially and all the oil on the racing line, these guys had to take different lines through the corners. And that obviously was an advantage maybe for the four-wheel drive cars, the two Audis, 3 Audis in the race. And the other cars just had to work that out. That's Sagren there, is it? Is it one of the Class B cars?
Yes, what happened there, it was down at Shell Corner. Looks like she lost it on the outside. What happens at that corner, if you lose it, you hit the curb, and if you overcorrect, you come into the tires on the inside of the circuit, and that looks like exactly what's happened at that point.
That's exactly what happened. That's a difficult corner to get right again. You have to place yourself absolutely perfect.
Well, what you're saying, Henrik, about the oily line, the four-wheel drives do benefit, but they were avoiding it on the way down to Cape Town Corner. They all went for the inside here to avoid, just psychologically put you off. And that's Sabine Dubois from Belgium. He's got a very successful father, team manager, who's never, ever failed to finish one of his cars on a 24-hour race in Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps. It was a pity for it to have lost it then gone into the bank. We've seen that happen often. You lose it and just shoots you across the road. Up to second. There he's gone past us now. There's Craig Baird. He's in fourth spot. Up to third, in fact. Anthony Reid is hanging on to the leader. He's 1.9 seconds. Joe's seen him in his mirrors and started to speed up. And they've closed on Baird. They're starting to close on Baird. And here the red flag is up. They're stopping this race. We've had a big off here. The red flag's up. The clerk of the course has stopped this race. That's what it says. You go round to the start, and that's where you stop. Something's gone wrong around the circuit, and this slows down, stays in position, and that race over. 6 laps are gone. Winkelhock in the lead. Anthony Reid second. Up is not too far behind. And then the battle was raging just behind. Craig Baird in the BMW, Michael Briggs in the Opel, Terry Moss on his tail, and then Jean-Francois Trouble in that first race. So that's the reason they've stopped it. A car stuck at the side of the road, the Sabine Dubois, and that's the reason they've stopped that race.
Roger, I don't know how well you know the regulations. They've done 6 laps out of 12. In other words, they've done 50% of the race, just after more than 50%. Are they going to rerun the race? Are they going to restart the race? Or are they simply going to have another race and add the 2 times together? What exactly they're going to do? We're not quite clear on that, but it seems like there's some injuries there, which would be a serious bit.
Yeah, they'll start this race in the order they were at the moment, then finish the laps of this race. But you've got to make the driver comfortable. It's in a very bad spot. They have another car lost it there with ambulances on the road. So Winkelhock was in the lead. They'll start that way. Reid up, Craig Baird, and then it was Michael Briggs, Terry Moss, and Hem Royal in 7th position. Killarney down in Cape Town for the restart of the 3rd race in this Engen International Touring Car Series. They're going to run another 7 laps in this race, and that was the order at the end of the first 6 laps, or 5 laps. In fact, Jacob Winkelhock in the BM was leading by a second from Anthony Reid. Up was 3rd in the Audi, then came Craig Baird. And the first South African, Michael Briggs in 5th spot. Terry Moss was right on his tail. Jean-Francois Hemwell and the other Rossman's Audi was 7th. Bjorn Joubert starting to close on them with 8th. Warner Jurgens, and then Ronnie Melkus brought up to be a 9th and 10th in the BMW and in the Holzer Opel. So here it is. We're going to have another 7 laps to end this one. Joe Winkelhock, Smoking Joe as they call him, that blue band across the bonnet, is on pole position. They're starting the grid way back to give them more room to get under the Goodyear Bridge. They've got a history of these touring cars before they get under the Goodyear Bridge, and this certainly has seemed to have solved the problem here this afternoon. Alongside him, we've got Anthony Reid in the Nissan. Craig Baird seems to be missing. We can't find Craig Baird. Something's gone wrong with that lap. As the clerk of the course, Brian Hoskins, runs for his life. He gets them underway. They're up at 8.5 on the limiters, and they get away. Winkelhock, another great start. And so does that four-wheel drive up Audi. Reid's been left to the line, and here comes Terry Moss as well. He's getting a good start. It's Winkelhock again. Nobody seems to beat that Schnitzer BMW off the line as they're on their way. They get around Conti Corner, all get around there safely. And he comes towards us now. Up the Joubert straight into the oval corner. It's up in 2nd spot. We've got a car's gone off the circuit there. Craig Baird's joined the the field at the back there. He didn't get onto the grid in his right position. He had to start at the back of the grid. It'll be interesting to see how he starts making his way through the field. Up to second, Terry Moss has got Michael Briggs on his tail this time. Before we had Terry Moss trying to find a way through. This will be a relief for him because Michael Briggs was making his car good and wide as they circulated this packed Killarney circuit here this afternoon. The double right hands, a long sweep here at the Seybat corner, and they start to hoop it down the long straight behind the pit. Here they come towards it into the teeth of the gale. The wind is still very strong as they come towards us. Winkelhock, he just gets away and clears off into the blue. He hasn't been beaten on this tour of South Africa yet. Up to the best of the Audi drivers so far. Then it's Moss, and closing up is Anthony Reid right on the tail of Michael Briggs. And that little Nissan Primera is a rocket ship. It's really very quick. Didn't get a good start. He got left there down in the pack. Then we've got Hemroyal a little bit further back in the second. The Rothmans Audi as they come past us. Winkelhock comes through just on a second. He's got a 1.8 second lead. It's like forever ahead of Christian up. Then it's Terry Moss. Michael Briggs trying his luck on the inside there with Moss. That's when Moss always attacked him. Michael Briggs is in fourth. Fifth is Anthony Reid. Hemroyal sixth. Then it's Ronnie Melkers doing well in the Holsa Opel in seventh position. We expect him to come up later in this race. One lap has gone. We've got 6 laps to go. It's Winkelhock. There he is. He just tears away, does Joe, a German touring car champion, British touring car champion in '94. A very hard man to beat. Briggs locks up a back wheel there. It's going to flat his tire a wee bit. And on his tail he's got Anthony Reid. Going to be a problem to pass Briggs. He knows the circuit very, very well. It's clear of the cement dust now, so it's a really clear run. Got a good grip as they powered out of there. Somebody went on the dirt there. Let's see if there's any change. No, there wasn't any change in order. Winkelhock with the blue strip and the Snitzer. Then the red and yellow up car. And here comes Michael Briggs. It was Terry Moss went off there when we saw that dust. And Michael Briggs has got through the third. And look, it's going down the outside. Daring stuff there from Anthony Reid. Trying to take Terry Moss. Does he know he's taking on that South Africa touring car champion? Daring stuff. Trying to take Moss on the outside.
And I don't think that Terry Moss can believe his luck that he's sitting behind Michael Briggs again, because he sat behind him in the last race and he just couldn't get past him. In fact, he also lost one position to Dion Joubert in the previous race. This time he had a better start and he got ahead of Michael Briggs into third position, and then he just went wide in Seybat corner, and he's still trying to go through on the inside there. Terry Moss must be furious with himself going wide through Seybat.
Absolutely missing. Not again. He's had it all afternoon. He's been trailing him. He's tried to give him a nudge now and again, and that Opel is good and wide.
And Anthony Reid now seems to be falling back a little bit. He was on the tail of Michael Briggs a little while ago before Terry Moss slotted in between them. And now it seems like Michael Briggs is slowly starting to pull away from Anthony Reid. Reid not having had a very happy day today. In the first race that he drove in, he had pole position. He had a bad start because of something that broke on his front suspension. So he completed about 2 laps, if so many. And now in the second race that he drove in this car, he once again couldn't make use of that pole position, while Gilles de Villiers actually went out and won from flag to flag. So Anthony Reid from England is not having a good day.
Yes, and that's unfortunate because Anthony is a very, very good racing driver. Gilles de Villiers will tell you he's learned so much from this man, but look at that Primera. That Nissan Primera is so quick in a straight line. You really battle. The guys are battling to pass it, and he seems to close up on them. It also handles magnificently, especially through Seybat corner. It is very quick. It handles beautifully according to the drivers, and certainly the Glyn Hall team with the Nissan team have done a marvellous job to make that car so quick. But it is still Joe Winkelhoff. He's pulled the gap out now to 2.57 seconds. Then it's Michael Briggs, and right in his tail we've got Terry Moss. So Christian Up really having a good day as well. This young German driver will be very, very happy indeed with his performance here at Killarney. He got second in the first heat. He's looking at another second place. Can Terry Moss do anything about Michael Briggs? Michael seems to have had the measure. Michael has driven brilliantly. He hasn't made one mistake. He hasn't given Terry half a chance. And all you have to do with Terry, give him half a chance and he's through the gap. And Michael hasn't done that, and that's really making it very difficult for the Audi. Doesn't seem to have the straight line speed of the Opel. It's only just about as good. He looks at the inside. Michael looked as if he might have left the door open slightly, but Terry wasn't close enough to take advantage of it. They're coming out of the kink, down past the pits, and there is that beepiness in Primera right in behind Terry Moss. Terry Moss on the better line, the inside line. Has he got the straight line speed to pass Michael as they come down towards Connie corner? No, Michael holds him off, but it's now Reid on the outside of Terry Moss. If they can hold that through that corner, Reid's got the better line going down towards the oval corner. No, Terry Moss just holds him out. He has to back out as Anthony Reid. Just got to back out, and now Terry looking at a wide line. Can he dive in? He's got to be careful. He's got to attack Michael, but at the same time, he's got to defend against Anthony Reid. They've done 4 laps. It's still Joe Winkelhock, 2.5 seconds ahead. Then it is Christian Up, Michael Briggs, Terry Moss is 4th, Anthony Reid is 5th. In 6th place, it is Hemmerl in the other.
It's the 2 Germans in the front looking very good, but the South Africans just behind are putting on tremendous show. And what's encouraging is that the Opel, which has been headed by the Audi all year in South Africa, is keeping the Audi behind him and doing it very successfully as he did in the first race. It's actually the first of the South African cars. He's doing a great job there. Is Michael Briggs, Terry Moss, both from Port Elizabeth, down in the bay. And Anthony Reid, the Scot, is right on their tail. Now he's trying a new angle with Terry. He's getting his bumper right underneath his back bump. He's got a better line. Has he got the grunt out of the corner? He's neck and neck. Yes, has he? No, he hasn't. Terry Moss got a better line as they're going to go under the Goodyear Bridge. Coming towards us. Up comes Pass in 2nd spot in the Audi. Here comes Briggs. It's Moss, and Reid has got past him. Reid has got, look at this, Moss. This is Hemroy. Malkus is in this, having his best drive. Just behind. Oh, and Anthony Reid's gone up. He gave him a little nudge there, and Anthony Reid has felt the wrath of Terry Moss. You don't do that to Moss.
I think what happened there, Roger, was he just went in too late, so he braked too late as well. Then he locked up his front wheels, and he had nowhere to go but straight off.
Yes, that car, to get it to turn into the corners, they go in, they actually turn in under heavy braking to create a lot of weight on the right-hand front wheel, and that allows the car to turn in. And obviously just going in that 5 kilometers or so too quickly. And you always see it, here he comes in, watch him, he locks up the front wheels. You can see just too much weight on the outside wheel. The inside wheel locks up too deep, and out he goes.
I wouldn't have been surprised if he wasn't helped on his way there. Locked wheels and all. And Terry, you don't take him on too easily. He's a rugged, he's an aggressive driver. West Bank modified champion. He can get in the walls, Terry, and come out and stop. Look at the gang behind. It's a race going on, 2nd and none. We'll pick it up a little bit later. It's Michael Briggs now looking a little bit safe in 3rd. Terry's getting around there as they're getting around past through some of the B-class, the lesser powered cars. And here they come. Briggs comes through them, and here he goes. Hemroyal. Hemroyal's in there. Dion Jabez very much in there. Then we've got Ronnie Malkus in that Holzer Opel. Duncan Foss in the BP Nissan. Here is the Malkus car. This is his best drive that he's certainly having in this race. Dion Jabez now closed right up onto his tail. He's doing a good job. He's in 6th spot. You remember he came through to 3rd in the last race, or 3rd or 4th. He really did a good job, did Michael. And he was in 3rd, in fact, and Dion is starting to put the pressure on those guys ahead of him. It's Winkelhock in the front from Germany, German champion, British champion, Porsche Super Cup champion. And we have done 6 laps. We're on the final lap of this race. That's the order for 1 and 2. Winkelhock in the BM, unbeaten in this tour. Up the best of the Audi drivers. There goes Winkelhock flying along through the Sabat sweep, coming up on one of the B-class cars. And here's the Battle Royal that's getting to the final stages. It's half a lap to go of this race as they come down to the flag. It's going to be Michael Briggs holding off Terry Moss, we think, at this stage. Then it's Hemroyal, then it's Joubert, Malkus and Foss and Mornay Jurgens. That's the order at the moment. George Fischer, having his first taste of German touring cars, touring car racing, is next. And then we've got Craig Baird. And Winkelhock does it again. That's his 6th win on this tour, on the Schnitzer BMW. Here comes that lovely backdrop of the mountain. And Briggs comes home just ahead of Terry Moss. Next is Hemroyal, Joubert right on his tail. Ronnie Malkus next. And then came Duncan Foss, Mornay Jurgens, George Fischer and Craig Beck. Great racing. There they are, 1 and 2. They were in the same order in the first race. And they've done it again. Smoking Joe Winkelhock has done it again. Unbeaten. He won 2 at Kyle Army. He's won 2 down here. That's what he came to do. The Schnitzer is so strong. Looks like they're testing their 97 engines, and they are really going to give those Audis a lot of competition next year. There's no doubt about it. BMW is back with a vengeance. And the Audi have upped. Well driven, that German. He's done well in German touring car racing in the official team. And Joe Winkelhock, you can hardly see him. He sits so low down in that motor car. They call him Smoking Joe on air. And Michael Briggs has had a great afternoon. 2/3 for him. New lap record. We've got Christian up to set up a new lap record, 150. And the crowd are loving it as they come up to the Sabat sweep. The circuit is packed. The adrenaline has been pumping. They're having a great time. The door's coming open. It's just in an effort to cool down those drivers. So it's Winkelhock, the winner. There he is, Joe Winkelhock. Christian up 2nd in the... That's after yesterday or this morning's qualifying to Neil de Villiers. The man from Robertson here down in the Cape is on pole. He won the last race. Aberdeen was 2nd. and then tomorrow Vidali on the second row, sharing it there with Sean van der Linde in the Snitzer BMW. He won 2 races at Kyalami. Chris Nissen is next in the Audi, and then Peter Cox sharing his motor car with Craig Baird. Marco Werner from Germany, a very successful Porsche Super Cup driver, and he's in the Opel, the Holzer Opel. Sasha Mossen in the Nissan, then Grant McCreary. Bad practice this morning with Roddy Turner alongside him in 10th spot. They're ready to go. Brian Hoskins, the clerk of the course, that pedal down there, that's to tell him to line up on the grid. It's a red board. He'll turn it around and show them the 5 seconds. They'll switch to the green lights. I'll watch them, or the red lights on the Goodyear Bridge. They'll swap to green and we'll be in business. 38 Ks are racing ahead. Final race in the Engen series. Coming up 5 seconds, he runs again for his life. Who gets the good start here? The Audi should do it with that 4-wheel drive, well planted down the road. And have a look at, oh man, he just comes sailing through. That's Sean van der Linde. What a start. He's got into the front. Sean van der Linde missed out winning the last race. A great start there by Sean van der Linde in the Snitzer BMW, and going wide. There's up there, pushing some of the other cars to the side as they tear through and come towards us. It's Sean van der Linde. Janelle de Villiers. Van der Linde from the... We've got it sideways coming in there. They're trying so hard. Then it's Aberdeen, Vidali. Chris Nissen's in there as well. Marco Werner, Peter Cox is there. As they start heading down towards us, the wind has come up again. You can see the tablecloth over Table Mountain. And those flags are absolutely stiff. Those Conti flags just showing how strong the wind. As they get into the teeth of the gale going round. And he's very, very slippery. Is Sean van der Linde. On his tail, he's got Janelle de Villiers tucked right in. It should be Aberdeen third. We think a South African third, Vidali fourth. We'll see the numbers. They are identical motorcars that come down towards us. Onto the brakes. He's going on the inside is Chris Aberdeen. Is it going to work for him? The results of the first race to de Villiers and Aberdeen and Sean van der Linde. The 3 South Africans were first, second and third. Peter Cox was through in 4th position in that race the last time. As they come up towards us, it's heads down and going. The Craig Baird car now with Peter Cox at the wheel is right in there too. He's in 6th spot. There he's moved up from 9th to 8th position onto Marco Werner's tail. There's a big war goes on between the Holzer Opel team, that's the German team. They were hoping to get Hans Stuck driving here today, but unfortunately with all the snow and ice in Europe, he slipped and broke his arm. It's not going to be a good off-season for him. He'll have to get himself fit for the racing next year.
And certainly a wonderful start for Sean van der Linde. That's the dream start. That's what he is hoping for before this race started. And he's got Janelle de Villiers tucked in behind him. Then it is Chris Aberdeen, and we saw how quick Chris was towards the end of the last race. And he's going to be a big threat to both these guys up front. And listen, he's very quick down the back straight. And you'll see that Janelle de Villiers will tuck in. That's Peter Cox in the other Schnitzer BMW. He's also very quick, super quick driver, very smooth, and he's got a lot of pressure just in front of him, just got past. It's Chris Nissen using 5th place. Chris Nissen holding on to 5th place. It looked as if Peter Cox wanted to come through. Janelle is right in behind Sean van der Linde. Sean's defending as well as he can. At the same time, he wants to pull himself. If he has to, he will pull Janelle de Villiers away with him. He wants to get away from the Audi. He's still a bit of a gap. So at the end of the race, they won't be challenging. Aberdeen's got a problem. Aberdeen's got a problem. He's slowing right down as Vidali comes through. Tomorrow, Vidali, the lady from Italy, comes up into 3rd place. She's moved up into 3rd as they come through. They've done 3 laps. They've done 3 laps, and now it's Chris Nissen right on Vidali's tail. That's Aberdeen. He stopped on the end of the main straight, and that's unfortunate. He won't be too happy with that, and I wonder what the problem is. There was no smoke or anything, Hendrik.
Well, Basil, in the previous race, or in the first race of the day, that same car driven by Jean-François problem with the gearbox, and he had to pull out after two laps. So I wonder if it might not be the same problem.
It could well be. Yeah, certainly could well be. But we see Sean van der Linde through Sabre getting away from Janelle. Janelle was slightly quicker in certain parts of the circuit last race, but Sean van der Linde in that Schnitzer BMW, that's the car that was driven by Joe Winkelhock so successfully, and Sean has also been super quick in it. But it's certainly looking like Janelle's going to have to do something special if he wants to get to grips with Sean van der Linde. With Aberdeen out, we got Vidali right in behind them, and I don't believe he's going to be as big a threat on the circuit as Chris Aberdeen was in the first race. Aberdeen with all the experience here at Killarney in Cape Town, and he's got a lot of problems coming up behind him as Janelle de Villiers. Peter Cox is also in there. Chris Nissen maybe holding Cox up for just for a moment. And we know how quick Peter Cox is. When he comes through, he's going to be flying. Oh, that's the Nissen. That's the other Nissen. That's driven by Sasha Masson. He's gone out of it. Sasha Masson's gone out in the Nissen. That's the Sentra. That's the Sentra that's gone out. I'm sure that is not the Ansgar car. I think that is Sasha Masson. Here comes our leader once again, and it is still Sean van der Linde. He's pulled the gap out to half a second. Looks a little bit bigger at this stage after a half a lap of lap 3. Then we've got, and right in there is still Marco Werner. Marco Werner proving to be very, very quick in this Opel, the Holster Opel. Down the back straight, down towards Cape Town corner. Sean van der Linde, all he can see is that big BP Nissan Primera in his rearview mirrors. He knows what it did to him in the first race. He battled to pass him, overdid it, went off through Sabat on the oil. He just went out a bit wide. Janelle de Villiers saw the oil. Sean didn't. He touched it, went wide, and that cost him that second place. And who knows, maybe even a win, because this Schnitzer BMW is so quick. That's Peter Cox that come over the start-finish line. They've now done 4 laps gone, and it is still Sean van der Linde from Janelle de Villiers, Tamara Vidali, and Chris Nissen.
Vidali doing a tremendous job there in third position as the Italian Super Touring Car Champion. She's done it. It's Sean in the front there, half a second ahead of Tamara Vidali. Chris Nissen is fourth, Peter Cox is fifth. Marco Werner now has moved up to sixth, and Grant McCleary from ninth position has moved up to seventh. Had a broken exhaust in the first race. He eventually just ran out of steam, lacked power, lost about 20% of his power, and he had to go into the pits. Barry Ingall is hanging on there in 8th spot, and then it's Christian Menzel ahead of Stephen Ansgar. So we've lost the, it looks like we've lost that Duncan Foss car at the moment. Sasha Marson, he's down, way down there. It looks like the Marson car, that's the one we picked up a little bit earlier. It's all Sean van der Linde at the moment, but Janelle de Villiers is on a charge, and he's a big threat as they come up in some of the lesser powered B-class cars.
Well, there's only about 3 seconds between the first 6 cars. This is Super Touring car racing at its best. And Janelle de Villiers, again in front of his home crowd. He said early on today that he was born in Robertson, a few miles away from here, and he's only 24 years old. He's had 1 win under his belt already, and he's going to try and make it 2. Only 0.3 of a second, and Janelle de Villiers. And de Villiers, of course, learnt his racecraft here at Killarney in Cape Town. Van der Linde, the leader at the moment. He was South Africa's driver champion in 1992 and the Super Touring car champion in 1994. Also a young man with lots of experience and lots of talent. He's not going to let young Janelle de Villiers past him that easily. But Tamara Vidali from Italy really doing a great job there, holding up the name for the Rothmans Audi Quattros here. With the demise of Chris Aberdeen's car. 4th position instead of Peter Cox, moving back a little bit. He's about 1.5 seconds behind Vidali in 4th position. Marco Werner has moved up into 5th position. Chris Nissen down to 6th position in that Audi. I wonder if there's a problem there. Yes, indeed, they seem to be falling back. Look at the back, Marco Werner trying to catch up with Peter Cox. And from Holland, Marco Werner from Germany. We have 13 international drivers in this series. Great to see them in action in South Africa, both at Kyalami and at Killarney here in Cape Town. What a way to end the South African motorsport season. That's the end of lap 6, and still the order remains the same.
Yeah, they're halfway now. They're at the halfway stage, and there's really not much between Van der Linde and Janelle de Villiers, with Tamara Vidali doing a great job. She's only 1 second behind Janelle de Villiers, and this lady is looking very quick. Chris Nissen's gone out of the picture. He's obviously got a problem. We saw he's gone into the pits, I believe. We saw Marco Werner past him. Then Grant McCleary came up on him. Barry Ingall also going very well indeed. He's Barry Ingall. He moved past him, and into the pits came Chris Nissen. Not a very happy trip to South Africa for Chris Nissen. We know how talented he is. He's won a lot of touring car races, and also sports car racing has been his main forte. Through Sabat corner once again on lap 7, and it is still Sean van der Linde holding out Janelle de Villiers. The 2 local guys having a great race, with Tamara Vidali not giving up. She's hanging in there like a bulldog.
Absolutely, Basil. That's first now pulling away from the rest of the field. Tamara Vidali closing up on Janelle de Villiers, who is battling it out with Sean van der Linde, and that, of course, while they're keeping each other busy, is allowing Vidali the chance to get closer and closer. They've done 7 laps, coming up to complete lap number 7 out of 5 laps to go, and this will be the last 5 laps that we see Super Touring cars in action in South Africa. Next year there will be a new formula. a new 2-litre formula that will run on specifications that are lower than these, and it's hoped that it might just lead the way for touring car racing in the rest of the world.
We haven't seen, of course, a lot of manufacturers have committed themselves to racing in the new touring car series in South Africa next year. Right, it's van der Linde, lights ablaze, to tell some of the slower men to keep out of his way because he's on a chart. The BMW, I must say that since the BMW is starting to look twitchy. It came through Sabat Sweet there looking like it was understeering of all things, but it's not looking like it's running on rails like it has been in the past. And coming up for Tol, if she pulls this off, it'll be a great victory for her. The three of them are just tied together a little bit further back. You see the Craig Berg, Peter Cox cars fourth. Marco Werner's next. He's getting into the picture. And leading that other group, we've got Grant McCleary, Barry Engel, and Christian Menzel.
There's drama, Roger. We see the black flag out. Steve Harding was the clerk of the course for Super Touring cars. He's given the black flag to Sean van der Linde for a jump start. I thought he got away a little bit quickly, but he's given a black flag. That means that Janelle de Villiers has taken the lead and is on his way to his second victory of the day.
Well, it certainly does, but hold on, don't discount Tamara Vidali there, a touring car champion. Here he goes again. He's been right at the back of the field. So the order now is Janelle de Villiers, Tamara Vidali in that Rothmans Audi. Here's a big moment. She's certainly got the car that's capable of doing it. She's got the talent as well. This young Italian girl is going like a rocket. A karting champion as well. Peter Cox is third. He's with the head car. He's from Holland. Craig Baird from New Zealand. Marco Werner is fourth. He's back on the circuit. Is Sean van der, but he's way down in ninth spot, and he's going to run out of laps. We're on lap 8 or 9 at the moment. We've got those 3.5 to do, and Vidali can taste blood. It's Janelle de Villiers, a very rapid little Nissan Premier. It's a pity we're not going to see these cars in South Africa next year as they head down towards us, down to Cape Town into the circuit. In fact, we'd never see this curve if you're standing at the circuit. Almost looks like a straight. Here he's onto the brakes. And Vidali's she'll have been told, you can see the aerial on roof saying to her, Tamara, this is the one that you can win. And the Rothmans Audi team are right behind her. And that engine, fuel and oil that's in that motor car is working overtime. If it gets too close, that temperature gauge is also going to be rocketing up there into the red. It's Janelle de Villiers. 9 laps are gone. 9 laps are gone. And the fastest lap we've had is Sasha Marson in this one. Here we go, Janelle de Villiers. It's Tamara Vidali. Peter Cox is third. Marco Werner, Grant McCleary moved up from 9th into 5th spot as they come towards us. There's Cox third. Fourth is Marco Werner and going. He's just 1.5 seconds behind and starting to close those seconds between himself and Peter Cox. So the BMWs are not shaping in this particular race. We've got a Nissan leading an Audi. We haven't seen that in years. We're going to have another look at that start to see what happened there at the start of the race. Here we go. They got the green. Of course, you've got to see the green light to know. He was just behind. There he's moving. That's the jump start. He got going. He might have had the quickest reaction, of course, but he moved first. Maybe he moved before they got the green, and that's the reason that he got a black flag for a stop-go penalty. He's back in the race. But what a great start. If it worked for him, it was going to be great. He was going to have his next victory. So that's the reason for that. Here we are. We're getting up to the end of 10 laps. We've just got 6.5 Ks to go, 7 Ks to go at this spot here. They're coming past some of the Class B motor cars, and they're on a charge. And Vidali, if she really gets the head down on his home track, she's not far behind. It's 0.5 of a second, it's a half a second with 2 laps to go. Third is Peter Cox. Marco Werner's got it down to 1.4 seconds, not close enough. Barry Engel's got past the Grant McCleary in 5th spot. McCleary's gone back a spot into 6th. And she's started the challenge. And there, oh dear, there goes Sean van der Linde. Is he going out of the pits? He's got smoke coming in there. He's gone into the pit. He's gone to his pit, and that's going to be his race run. The final Super Touring Car race for that particular Snitzer BMW. He's out for all. We haven't got enough laps left. It's de Villiers and it's Vidali.
And Roger, I'm sure all the women motorsport people in this country are shouting their heads off for Tamara Vidali, because I can't remember when last a woman had won an international race in South Africa. Maybe you're old enough.
No, certainly at this level, this is really heavy stuff here, and Vidali is really going. Peter Cox is in there. Marco Werner's coming into the picture. Here he comes, that man in the 4th one, that Holzer Opel is getting there. We've got 4 different makes in the first 4 cars. It's a Nissan leading the Audi, that Rothmans Audi, has had a tremendous 2 weekends. Then it's Peter Cox in a BMW, and then we've got the Opel, the Holzer Opel of Marco Werner. Engel is next. Is he next? We'll see as they come through. This is it. This is her big chance to make a name for herself. Here comes Grant McCleary getting past there by Christian Menzel. Something's gone wrong with that Opel. They're slowing down, hasn't got the power it had in the early part of this race. Getting past down the straight, and it's going to be Vidali. She tastes blood. She's getting closer. She's getting under that wing. Here's the last chance. We've got 3-4 corners to go, and that's it. As they head down off the oval, down to Shell Corner, it's Janelle de Villiers. He's not going to let this one get away. Rear wheel and front wheel drive, of course, locks that, touches his brakes, gives a little dab there, locks that back wheel, and she's there. If she gets through this corner quickly, she can slipstream down to the bottom. Peter's just two behind them. Here they come out of, so quickly out of Sabat corner and heading down towards us. She's got to get a toe. She hasn't